Hello and welcome back to the Vic Meier Show. It's the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving, everybody. And I just want to take a moment to say how much I appreciate you and how thankful I am to have this platform and all of you out there tuning in to the Vic Meier Show every Wednesday here on YouTube. This week I thought I'd keep it kind of light. We're approaching the end of the year and I'm getting a bit retrospective as one has the tendency to do around this time of year. So with that being said, we're going to go travel back through some of my favorite interviews and some of my favorite moments in those interviews and share those with you. So with no further ado, here we go. My favorite interviews from the past year, 2024.
Exactly. He wanted it to be Devo, to be, politically correct, let the lady go first, but it didn't have the ring to it, so.
Well, I have to confess in the beginning, when she put Devo first, I said, I don't know.
Well, that's just chivalry,
I wasn't
right?
expecting that. And I wasn't expecting that. I said, okay. I
Devo
guess.
Diva has a nice ring to it.
So I have 3 decades of experience with the restaurant business, and so I know how hard it is. But when
He didn't tell me how hard it was. He said it was going to be easy.
Yeah.
I've never hardly worked for anyone else. Never in the service business. Everything we do, we try to include a little live music. Tomorrow night's kind of a cabaret show, a mix between, I bring my guitar out, we sing some cover songs, we do a little Spanish music.
Every time I whisper, it'll be yours. It was just a phrase that I heard it plays. I was acting a part. But now when I whisper, it'll be.
Some Italian songs, and then we bust out a couple opera arias just for fun.
Thank you very much. I really do appreciate it. From the bottom of my heart, with everything I have, this is my dream and my true ambition in life, to travel, tell stories, and bring them to you.
A band called the Sibleys. And the Sibleys also owned the restaurant. And the sister, Laura, who also operates the Kitchen of the Palms and owns the Palms, I just thought her voice and her look, and then she'd rock out on the guitar, and I just fell for her. And so
it was a woman.
it was a woman.
I'm sure you still have it, right?
Yeah, I am. Laurel made sure that I have it.
You get it at the Glass Outhouse. Everything you've always wanted, it's here.
Yeah, you can only get it at the Glass Outhouse.
Yes.
And wherever you are,
There it is. So even if you give it away, you still have it.
well, I'm glad to know I got it.
You always had it.
Get it?
I got it.
Good. Thank you, Laurel. That was so fun. What many of you may have missed, though, was my fascinating conversation. At least I found it very fascinating to speak to Steve from Sidetrack Adventures, or Sidetracked Adventures. Steve from Sidetracked Adventures, who is just a lovely human being. And man, we had so many things in common, from the fact that his father was an educator and took his family on these educational family trips, and the same thing happened when I was growing up with my dad. Both my parents are educators, but let's just face it, this comes very honestly from my dad, who is the gregarious one in the family and who has never met a stranger. So I have to give homage to my own father, who did instill a lot of the capabilities that I have come to appreciate as your host here at the Vic Meier Show. And really, another thing that helped me connect a little bit deeper with Steve from Sidetracked Adventures. So let's enjoy a little bit of our conversation right here on the Vic Meier Show.
It's like, what else is out there, and just thinking about all this hidden stuff that's out there. And that's always kind of been in the back of my mind. So after getting out of the Army, getting married, me and my wife would travel a lot. And I was always just kind of interested, like, what's down this road? There's a reason this dirt road is here, what's down there. And so I was doing a lot of exploring. Yeah, I mean, every road has a story. So just finding out what that story is the hard part. As a kid, my dad would take us and on summer vacations every year. We'd go all over the country. I went to every 50 state before I was, 16, 15 years old. And so just traveling as a kid. My dad was a teacher. He had every summer off. So my dad had a truck. It had a camper shell on the back, and he had like a kit in the back that had like kind of turned into like a bed and everything. And I know we would, this is totally illegal now, but we'd open that back window and like climb through as, driving down the freeway, and just hang out in the back and kind of go back and forth between the cab and the back. But yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
Many, many, many of you tuned in to see my interview, A Day in the Life with Wonderhussy. So we'll give you a little taste of that right here.
It was interesting, but you know
production.
what? That's like how the best adventures always turn out. You can't script it out. You just have to go with the flow.
Yeah, I mean, we have an idea. You're a hard worker. People got to see you planning and plotting, and she definitely does her research.
I'm a hard worker, but I'm also a hard drinker. So that being said,
well, it's time for drinkies?
yes.
All right. It's sip o'clock. So you're saying, yeah, sometimes people do notice when you change something
right, yeah,
up.
so I had some complaints that I don't cuss anymore, and I personally agree with that particular viewer. I think it was kind of, it's a fine line. Like, if you cuss too much, it makes you sound cheap.
Yeah.
But I don't know, I feel like a finely placed curse word here or there adds, it's like adding spice to a dish,
I agree.
But anyway, yeah, so I do try to be mindful of what people want to see, but at the same time, I guess you always have to be evolving to keep people interested. Because if you stagnate and you start churning out the same crap every week, nobody wants to watch that.
For more on the
Wonderful.
weird and out of the way, stay tuned to the Vic Meier Show every Wednesday on YouTube. If you haven't done so already, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button. It does a lot to grow this channel and the dream that is the Vic Meier Show. Also, hit the notifications bell and make sure that you are turned on through your notifications in your phone if you're doing it through your phone. Moreover, thank you for supporting the dream that is the Vic Meier Show. Much love, everybody.
And then I found weed and music, and then it was game over. Then I took a hard left. It's what you feel passionate about, and I loved doing sports, and it was fun. But then I found music, and it was like, oh, this gives me goosebumps, and I'm passionate about this. So,
one interview that really flew under the radar and didn't get a whole lot of attention at all, and really kind of surprises me because we're talking about a fantastic guitarist, somebody who's traveled for over a decade with a terrific, you sleepy baby, with a terrific touring band called Carl Denson's Tiny Universe. And yes, of course, I'm talking about DJ Williams, not the DJ Williams, the artist DJ Williams, and the DJ Williams band. He was one of the best interviews I've ever had, really, and one of the most engaging people I've ever spoken to. Side note, if you're wondering where my theme song comes from, well, that is Fade Away by DJ Williams and the DJ Williams Band, an original by him, and with his permission, has become the Vic Meier Show's theme song. So thank you again, DJ. I do appreciate you, and I do appreciate your music. I hope all of you go back and watch the episode where I interviewed DJ and see some of the music he played and really get to know this fantastic guitarist.
I'm kind of in a moment of starting over. I've devoted the last 12 years to Carl Denson's Tiny Universe. So I was his guitar player, so I could only throw so much of myself into my solo career, and I resigned from that band in August. And since then, I've just really been trying to build my own brand and my own name and trying to be like Carl. So, yeah, this is what I'm working at right now.
I hope you all remember my good friend Augustin and where you can find the best chilaquiles ever. Well, if you don't, I'll remind you right now. Augustin, take it away.
Real, authentical Mexican menu, there's nothing. Yeah, my mom's house.
That's the best place to find Mexican food here.
Oh yeah.
Tráete el sartén para los chilaquiles, ¿no, por favor? And you want spicy, right?
Yes, sir. We don't have smell-o-vision.
Just a simple recipe, but lots of love. Here you go, my friend. Enjoy.
Thank you very much, Augustin. Are you gonna enjoy or join me for a minute? You got time?
From our casa to your casa.
All right, thank you, sir. I appreciate you so much. And don't you worry if you're not up to date on all the things that are the Vic Meier Show, which I guess I understand. You can always find links to the conversations I'm talking about down in the description. And I do, again, encourage you to go back and check out my conversation with Steve from Sidetrack Adventures. He was pretty darn fascinating. And the funny thing about him, and most of the people I talk to, is they insist they are not that interesting and have very little to share with me. And that's one of the things that I find very enlightening and very empowering from my angle, that I get a chance to put a spotlight and put a microphone in front of these people and show them you are not the insignificance that you see. There's so much more to you. There's complexity. There's beauty. There is wonder and jubilation in every conversation that I have. Well, every conversation I choose to have. And I'm more than open-minded to have a conversation with just about anyone.
On top, jumped off, and it goes straight down all the way to the river. He just stepped off onto the handle, and my grandma was like, "Oh, please let go, and he just let go at the end, and it rolled 1,500 feet down the mountain.
Oh, wow.
So you guys to get it back across the river. And
so now
that's where it come back across the Jarbidge River. That was a sign there, and the one on top used to have a loop pointing down, but people kept stealing them. So he'd make new ones all the time, but after he passed away, that's the last one to survive. So
beer lever defeat.
Yeah.
And that's where the beer lever was defeated.
Definitely defeated. Bad day looking at this country is better than a good day than looking at the city.
When I saw your little booth set up here, I just knew we had to talk.
For sure, man.
There's nothing I won't do to entertain you. Much love.
It was in totally derelict condition about 4 years ago. Wow. It had blackberry bushes growing all the way over it. At one point I was doing some work on the fuel system and I pulled one of these fuel lines and I was like, that's not in the diagram. Oh, that's a blackberry bramble, actually. So we did like brake upgrades on it. We had the wheels and tires off. We did suspension work, all sorts of restoration. It's a living, breathing piece of Southern Pacific Railroad history, which a lot of people get a real kick out of.
Turns out that someone had to keep an eye on all of that equipment. That somebody was Jack. Jack. Yes? You will have the unruly task of watching over all of this.
All right? I've done it before, so...
Yes, I have. Mickey and I are here to
yes, you are.
Keep you a little bit of company and get you a nightcap.
An
old-fashioned. Jack.
Cheers to a successful evening and a good fourth or Andy and Mary Day.
And there it is.
We're
an old-fashioned, done right.
Done right.
Hey, baby. Well, I did it.
Well, I don't know if I can really give away my secret. Mayo and jalapenos?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Spicy mayo and jalapenos?
Finally landed myself in the doghouse.
You're bothering me.
I've never wanted to be in the doghouse any more than I do right
now. Doghouse. This is the place to be. Come on now.
The things I love about this place are the people. I mean, it's just the community vibe here is fantastic. It's hard not to feel it.
Don't make me cry.
Thank you so much, Darcy.
Thank you.
I've had such a great time. I can't wait to sit down and eat my dog.
I know, right?
To see that two merchants approached George W. Locke after the 1915 fire, when George W. Locke succumbs to death in the San Francisco Call newspaper, 1909. That's 6 years before. Wow. And so I said that to
Martha,
the board. I know.
I had no idea.
Well, neither had anybody else, and most people today, all but a handful of people.
Look at you. I'm so proud of you.
Well,
no, that's really cool.
I really
that took a lot of sleuthing.
Well, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by finding historic documents, and I find it fascinating to go and find stuff.
This is the 1930 census of Locke,
California, 1930. It's 9 pages long. There's 550 people living or in it, and they are from 23 countries of origin in 1930.
Wow.
It was not exclusively one culture of folks.
One of the biggest stories of the year was Victor the Bear, and we have been covering that quite extensively. It means a lot to me that you have tuned in and paid attention to this cause that means very much to me and the community that I call home. So we are going to go back over some of our time with Steve Searles, the Bear Whisperer, if you will, and just some of those moments that are tucked away in the back of the interview that maybe you didn't catch the first time around. And as always, go back and check out the first interview if you have a chance. This is Steve Searles in our last conversation together about Victor the Bear. One of my favorite moments from my interviews this year.
I can tell you now on camera, I absolutely agree with all the hundreds of millions of people. I think that they should have been cited, charged with a crime, and then given their day in court so that they could plead their case. The stuff that they told them at the city council meeting and zoomed in through an interpreter, through the lady's daughter, we know for sure today that that was not truthful and not honest. But we know today for sure that they were lying. Why wouldn't you just follow procedure and protocol? Not judge the people, press hard, 3 copies, sign here, here's your court date. And then let it all pan out. Ask the people the questions, why they did what they did, how much alcohol they consumed that night, why they were acting so irrationally. All the folks and friends, all the people that love Mammoth can all digest that information and heal. Again, as this has gone a couple of months, I would use words like yours, misinformation, misstatements, people were confused or incorrect. I don't feel that way today. People lie. My neighbor Bill Sauser is the mayor and was the mayor at the meeting that was held for the death of Victor the Bear. He spoke last after everyone left. Everyone turned their back on him and left the room except for one reporter. And the camera was still rolling. He said it wasn't the tourists' fault, it's the locals' fault, and you should expect more bears to be killed. With all this outcry, they're just praying that the snow flies, everyone forgets, another news cycle takes precedence, and we'll just repeat the process. I think it's pretty sure.
You've been watching the Vic Meier Show right here on YouTube every Wednesday at 4 p.m. Please like, share, and subscribe. It does a lot to grow the dream that is the Vic Meier Show. And remember, when you're out there on the road, keep between the lines. Look out for Smokey because they're looking out for you. And as always, thank you for allowing me to entertain you, presumably. Again, this is the Vic Meier Show. Every Wednesday at 4 p.m. right here on YouTube. You can see your name and lights every week by becoming a Patreon member just like Whitney, David, and David. You can also become a member through YouTube. Remember, all those gestures, everything you do, does a lot to grow this channel and the dream that is. Say it with me one more time. Vic Meier Show. Much love, everybody. Remember, it's going to be cliche. Okay. Hope that makes sense. Anyway, DJ Williams, everybody. Get over here, turkey. Again, this is the Vic Meier Show every Wednesday on YouTube at 4 p.m. I know, it bores me too. Cut. Are you tired of this?